Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. So I want to say hello. I'm setting up real quick, and I'm hoping you all can see me. If you can, say hello. I think I'm live. Yeah, it's live. It is live, live, live. If you can see me, say hello. Um, Thank you for joining me. I think I'm just going to go and talk, and you all can just catch up and whatever the case may be. I'm both on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. And so hopefully you all can just see it and engage. Give me 1 second so I can make sure everyone is able to be on here. Public, let's make it public. Okay, save. Okay, good. So it should be public on Facebook and it's public on live. So this video or this live that I'm doing, hopefully the you guys are able to watch it a little bit later. If this is your lunchtime, grab a seat, sit and stay for a while. Um, this is the purpose for this is just to talk about fasting, especially in this season. I went on a 40-day fast, and I'm sure many of you are like, what? You did what? Why would you do a 40-day fast? Well, one of the reasons I did the 40-day fast is because I was desperate. I was in desperate need of a pause. I in January of this year, I've been following Alfred Street Baptist Church for a few years now. Um, and it's been a good place to hear the word, to hear good worship, and to be taught by someone other than me, my friends, and so on and so forth. And so it has been a really good place to get rooted in the word of God. And so in January, the pastor was talking about their annual fast, usually during the um, beginning of the new year, they do a fast. Last year, it was just 21 days. This year, it was 40 days. So, about fasting, just a little bit. Fasting is a biblical, um, you know, activity, ritual that you see throughout the Bible. One of the my favorite references of fasting is found in Joel chapter 1 and 2, where the author of the book was talking about gather up the community and let us join together in fasting. So, fasting is something that's biblical. Of course, you know about the Daniel fast. And of course, you know about Jesus fasting for 40 days right before he started his ministry that we find in Matthew chapter 4. So, fasting is a biblical thing. Different people fast for different reasons. I personally started the fast because I was feeling disconnected. I was feeling disconnected from God, from my body, from the earth, from other people. I just felt anxious. I felt confused in my head. I felt not together. I felt angry. I felt resentful. I felt as if God wasn't near. My relationship with God was just interesting. Um, and I think we go back and forth. Me and God, we have a relationship, so don't judge. It's this that's between me and God. So um but I this season I really felt like the question of my book I kept asking, does God see me? Like, God, do you hear my prayers? Do you see me? I mean, I was praying for ministry, I was praying for family, I was praying for my children, I was praying and I just felt disconnected from God, as if God wasn't seeing or hearing. I was praying for America, praying for Haiti, praying for Congo. And it just felt like the more I prayed, the more it seemed as if God was silent. So I desperately needed a fast. I needed a fast. And if you all know me, I'm always advocating for the underdog. I'm always advocating for women, for the rights of people, and all of that. And the reality is, you cannot be an activist where and your heart is hateful. You cannot be fighting for the rights of others. You cannot be fighting for God to do something. You cannot be fighting for equality and for the basic needs of people, and for your heart to be hateful, and for your heart to um, be in such a bad shape. That's where I was leaning towards. I just felt the hatred in my heart just bubbling up, and I needed to pause. So I felt afraid. I felt fearful of tomorrow. I felt fearful of the future. I felt fearful for my children. For what was going to happen in America. I just felt a lot of feelings, and I needed to fast. I needed um, to fast. I needed to pause. I needed to pray. I needed Jesus. I needed Jesus. So many of you are asking, why 40 days? The church did 40 days. I had never done a 40-day fast. I've done little fast here and there. I've disconnected from social media here and there. I've done different things here and there, but never a full 40-day fasting. Never a full 40-day fast. So this time was different. This time was special. This time was needed. Um I was scared to go into a 40-day fast, because this fast asked us to do three things. The first thing was to fast from certain foods. So everyone that asked me, so what were you fasting from? I'm like, everything that tasted good. I mean, the carbs were minimal. Um, Fried foods, fast foods, coffee, dairy. Like I said, everything good, meat products, everything good. I was fasting from. The other thing I was fasting from um, was unnecessary spending. Unnecessary spending. Now, and I didn't mind that at all, because I'm frugal with my money, and you don't need to be out here just you know just spending money. So unnecessary spending was the second one. The third one, I thought was going to kill me. Not really. I'm just being dramatic. But fasting from social media. Yes, fasting from social media. Here's why I was concerned that that one was going to be hard for me, because we're in the thick of throwing a big gala for our nonprofit, Elevate Her. And I need to be in these streets promoting to get people to come to the gala. So I did not know how this was going to pan out, because I'm like, I need social media. I talk to people on social media. Do you know how many people I've met on social media? How in the world is this fast going to work with me removing myself from social media? The thing is, as hard as those things seemed, my heart was in such a bad shape that I needed to do the fast. You ever been in that place? In a place where something need to change, and you didn't care what was going to happen. You just know something needed to change. And for me, fasting gave me that place to explore the change that I needed in this season. So every morning, the church had morning prayers, devotionals and scriptures and things like that to help us get in a space to fast. And the other thing is to do it in a community, to feel as if we were not just alone. I was not just alone because there were tens of thousands of people from all over the world who were fasting just like I was. And it felt good knowing that when I prayed, I'm not praying alone. When I'm eating less of this and that, I'm not doing it alone. When I'm not going to these stores spending all my money, I'm not doing it alone. So it was good to do that. The other thing that I was going through is that I was in deep lament for our country. Now, I don't know about any of you. I don't know about your political affiliation. Let me tell you, we are in deep trouble as a nation together. Whether you're right or left leaning, what we're seeing here is very concerning, very concerning. And I was lamenting. I started the fast wearing this shirt, asking the question, does God see me? Because I was lamenting and I needed something to embody the lament that I was feeling for America, for Haiti, for Congo. I was lamenting. I was in deep lament and I needed to embody it. So I started wearing this shirt. I made these shirts. I do have some shirts. So if you need a shirt, if you're going into a season of fast, especially for Lent, I can send you a shirt so you can just embody your lament. But I needed something more than just a shirt. I needed the 40-day fast to embody what it is that I was feeling and sensing. Like my whole body was in desperate need of a pause. Have you ever been there? The place where you're like, there's so much happening, and so your body just feels overwhelmed, and it is too much. There was too much happening. The past couple of months, it has been too much. And it is okay for us to say, it is too much. And I need to go to my Father to pray. I need to weep in front of my God and pray. I need to kneel in front of my God and pray. That's where I was. And I know many of you are here too. And I can only, my heart goes out to you. And if you're sensing it in your body, then go ahead, unplug, go and fast and pause and connect with your God. Let's see. I want to give you all the information. If you're watching live, I would love for you to ask a question. If you have any thoughts or anything like that, I would love for you to just come in and ask your question. But I was in desperate need, and I needed to pray. The other thing I was struggling with is that my body was so overwhelmed. I didn't want to check out. I didn't want to check out and feel like I'm running away or I'm being apathetic. I'm being numb. You know, all that is okay, but I didn't want to leave my people in the struggle while I go ahead and fast, right? And so I didn't want to be all in because it was too much and I didn't want to be all out. So I was struggling as to what do I do? I felt stuck. I felt like, what kind of activist am I, to advocating for people. And here I am checking out and I'm not helping people in the fight, in the struggle. But you know what? 40 days of fasting to be with God just makes you an entirely a better person, a better lover, a better activist, a better person to fight the good cause for those that are downtrodden, those that are in desperate need, those that are in need of God. So 40 days away from the issues, there is nothing wrong with pulling back from moving yourself away for 40 days so that you can pray, so you can get clear again, so you can know your mission all over again, so you can know your calling all over again. 40 days to pray is nothing. Jesus prayed for 40 days. he fasted for 40 days before he went about his calling. And I'm wondering, maybe the fast that Jesus did is what empowered him to feel bold and powerful and convicted to be able to go forth and say, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." I mean, I believe it was that 40 days of connecting with God to get sure about his calling and say, "God, are you really sure? Father God, are you really sure this is what you're calling me to?" And so for me, for the 40 days, I needed to be sure of what God was calling me to. I needed to pause. I needed to pray. I needed to be sure that in this season, there's something happening and we need to stand firm and we need to be strong and courageous. That's what my 40 days of fasting did. Yes, I had to remove myself from all the things. I mean, I love me some bubble tea, and I could not go and get my bubble tea for the 40 days, but it was important for my head to be clear of what God was doing in this 40 days. So, what did I learn? The first thing that happened to me, first day, no lie, no lie, no lie. I will tell the truth or shame the devil. The first night I fasted seriously, God gave me dreams. I started dreaming. I started dreaming. Now, I dream. I'm Haitian, so we dream, okay? We have prophetic dreams. And listen, I believe in the prophetics. I believe people speaking in tongues. I believe people dreaming and seeing something. You believe God can use a donkey to speak to people, but yet you don't believe in the prophetic dreams. Get out of here, okay? So I believe in the prophetic dreams. And the first night I fasted, the Lord started speaking to me again in dreams. Now, my dreams hadn't been clear because I've been so overwhelmed. I had been so deeply anxious that I couldn't dream. God couldn't talk to me in my dreams. I mean, I started seeing all kinds of my ancestors in my dream. My brother talks to me in my dreams, right? And so all kinds of things. So I started dreaming again. That was the first things. How do I pray to God after the deconstruction? I believe Jesus. Oh, that's a great question. I'll come back to that question, but I want to talk a little bit about what did I get from the 40 days of fast. So that was the first thing. The second thing that happened to me, confession. Oh my goodness. The second thing that happened to me was confession. I have this mat in my office. I didn't know it was going to be a prayer mat, but let me tell you, every day I would come into this office, my knees would be on the ground, my head would be on the ground praying. That prayer of confession had me in tears. I was confessing all kinds of things, none of your business, but I was confessing. The Lord was really connecting with my heart. What was going on with my heart, the disconnection I was feeling with my body, with God, with the earth, with other people. I needed to confess. I was confessing things that only God and I knew. And my mouth just started praying, started confessing those things. That was the second thing that happened. And let me tell you other things that started happening. I began to be clear in my head again. Like things that I was afraid of, dreams that I was afraid to dream. I began to dream again. I began to feel again. I began to feel more settled, more grounded, more strong, more courageous, more empowered, more knowing, more connected with God. It felt like I was praying without ceasing. Like First Thessalonians 5:7 that tells us to pray without ceasing. I felt like I was praying without ceasing all throughout the day. I felt like I was praying without ceasing. Um, and God continued to give me vision of this nonprofit that he called me to lead. Visions of people I needed to invite in, visions of people I needed to help me, visions of people that will help elevate the women in our midst, visions of creating spaces for women, visions of expanding the table and inviting other people in the table. That's what God was doing in this 40 days for me. So, where am I now? I'm more clear. I'm more clear in my calling. I'm more clear in what God has called me to do. I'm more clear in this season of my life. I'm more confident. I have a little bit more joy. I have more joy. And I'm so grateful for that. I can cry and weep because I feel more joyful. God has been challenging me, well, about my jealousy, about seeing Him do for people and not for me. And God is like, wait a minute, I am God. I own cattle on 1,000 hills. I got you. I got you. And so I feel more settled in who I am and who God has called me to be and who God has created me to be. Um, in this season, we're creating some good cohorts and spaces for women in our nonprofit. If you are not following Elevate Her, this is a good season to be a part of what we're doing, men and women, because this is not just women's issues. This is all of our issues. So follow us so you can see what's in it for us. How do we show up and support women and elevate women and create room at the table for women, especially Black, Brown, Indigenous women? So yeah, continue to follow. So I feel more clear. I feel more empathetic, and I'm more clear about how to navigate these political spaces. I'm hearing things about people talking about toxic empathy. What is that? Like, have we lost our minds? Toxic empathy and just, golden statues. What? Have we lost our minds? So I'm more clear of how to move forward. I'm more convicted, and I hope that wherever you are, whether you're left leaning or right leaning, that you would join a fast. Get into fasting. Put your face to the ground to the Lord so God can convict you, so you can confess some things, and so you can step up and start moving forward and start fighting the good fight for the least of these. For the least of these. The kingdom of God is not about elevating the rich and the billionaires. It's about seeing the least of these. When we are a nation that can understand the needs of the least of these, this is a nation that will thrive. And so this is we're in a crucial tipping point in our nation, all over the world, really, because look, Haiti, Congo, and I keep naming these places because these are places that I have dear family and dear friends in, and I know really what's happening, but other things. So there's a tipping point that we need to engage this tipping point with praying and fasting. Yes, I will continue a rhythm of praying and fasting from time to time. I will not be doing a 40-day fast anytime soon, but I will be doing periodic pauses to just pause so I can get clear with the Lord. Thank you all so much for staying for 24, 25 minutes to hear about this fast. Have you fasted? Have you done other things to create this pause in you, this need for God? You ever have this need for God? That was me. I just needed God. I just needed to hear from God. Shameless plug, if you're going to the gala this year, You will not be disappointed. It is on Women's International. It's on International Women's Day. So if you're watching this live, I hope you can join us. If not, see you next year. But thank you all so much. I want to leave you with this. Our activism cannot be from a place of hate. It can't be. It cannot be from a place of hate. We have been seeing a lot of hate from our top leaders. God can never call us, will never call us to fight the good fight from a place of hate. It will always be from a place of love. So what I want to encourage you with is that tap deep, tap in with that love muscle that we all have. I believe we all have it. Don't numb it out. Don't distance yourself from love. Where there's love, there's freedom, true love. And so for those of you that are championing hate in this season, don't, because that's not from God. God is love. And so wherever you are, right or left leaning, if you have no love in your heart, whatever you're doing is in vain. So I want to encourage you to begin with love. And if you're having a hard time loving in this season, that might be a good time for you to just pause and fast. Lent is coming. That could be a good thing for you to pause and fast from. I will pause right here. I'm online. I'm back online. I will not be back online the same way I was. I will create some good boundaries around me being online, just so I can create some good work and God can continue to work on me and work in me. And so I'm back online. If you need anything, if you have any questions, please send me your questions. Send me your prayers. I need them in this season. And I will see you soon. Thank you all so much for watching. And thank you for being a part of this live. See you soon. Bye-bye.